This is big breaking news. A major change is coming to the food supply starting today. We're going to see hundreds of products on the shelves be affected by this change. Things like cereal, things like snacks, drinks, candy, food, all these food you're giving to your kids and your children, these snack foods, right? All of these things are going to be affected by this, and major changes are coming. So let's get into all the details here really quick, guys. Please just hit that like and hit that subscribe. I'm posting every day, keeping you guys updated on this big news, and it just helps to get these alerts out so everyone knows. And right now, this announcement was just made by RFK Jr. He's the head of HHS, and he made this announcement that there's going to be a ban. This is going to affect all types of food, right? Breakfast cereals, General Mills Trix, General Mills Fruity Cheerios, Kellogg's Fruit Loops, Kellogg's Apple Jacks, Fruity Pebbles, Captain Crunch Berries, beverages, all right? Kool-Aid, Sunny D, Powerade, energy drinks, Mountain Dew, Gatorade. All these things are going to be affected. Snacks, Doritos, Cheetos, crackers, peanut butter crackers, cheese puffs, popcorn, right? Almost every single item that you eat is going to be affected by this, and it's going to be a good thing overall. Salad dressing, right? Ranch dressing, any type of bakery goods and baked goods, like any type of cupcakes, especially any red ones, all right? Red velvet cupcakes, anything like that. Ice creams are going to be affected. Juices, right? All these different products are going to be affected because today he has announced, going in effect today, that these synthetic dyes are going to be banned in our food supply, and they infiltrate hundreds of different products. At almost every product, even if it doesn't really need it, they add these dyes to it for extra color and extra pop, because eating for a lot of people is very visual, right? It is for everyone, but certain people especially, it's very visual. Like, they won't eat the apple if it's a little weird shaped or it's off color or whatever. Okay, people have become very peculiar about their foods, so they play into this. And these dyes are also addictive, and they cause personality changes potentially as well too. And something that I didn't even realize as well is that these dyes are actually synthetically produced from petroleum based byproducts, all right? So I don't really have an issue with that. I have a gas based car, right? I don't really have an issue with crude oil, petroleum, but I don't want to be eating it. And it says that here, petroleum based dyes, and there's a ton of them. I'm going to list all of them and all their side effects, but it says here that these dyes are synthesized from aromatic hydrocarbons like benzene and toluene, and derived from crude oil through chemical processes, and they refine it and manipulate it from a lot of these byproducts, petroleum byproducts, all right? So you end up eating that. It's in all the food that we eat. And I just didn't even really realize that. It's kind of insane. Why are we eating this stuff? It kind of seems like a big money scheme for people to dump their waste, right? It's the same thing with fluoride in the water. A lot of the fluoride, hydrofluoric acid, is actually a waste byproduct, okay? And a lot of it is just dumped into waterways and water systems and called, quote, treatment. And same thing happens here. They like to use waste byproducts and recycle them and make money off them again, right? But now we're eating it. Now we're drinking it. It's insane. So here's a list of all the dyes that are affecting you, right? I'm just going to go through it and all their side effects, and I'll get into more specifics of specific products too. But just think about it. Anything that's brightly colored, anything that's like a bakery, a snack, highly processed food, anything that's brightly colored that's not just like a fruit or a vegetable naturally. It was even saying here some of the oranges and orange juice, they'll even use coloring still just to make it more appealing, right? It's insane, right? It's like, why are we doing this? There's really no benefit at all. It says here, Blue One. I'm just going to go through the list of them. It's found in products like Pepsi, candies, baked goods, and cosmetics like eyeshadow. It says that there's hypersensitivity reactions that people have, such as skin rashes, asthma-like symptoms. There's also behavioral concerns, like a 2007 Lancet study that associated artificial dyes, including Blue One, with increased hyperactivity in children, particularly those with ADHD. And it's like one of these things, chicken or the egg. Is it causing ADHD or is it making it worse? Who knows? But it's one of these things, especially kids. And I'm guilty of it too. My kids eat candy and stuff sometimes. We just had Easter mostly eating chocolate, right? Not a lot of like jelly beans or hard candies or things like that. But I give them candy sometimes too. I'm guilty too. I'm not like super strict about it, but it's not something that's regular. If it's a holiday, if it's a birthday, something like that, we can do it. We can eat some candy, all right? But you shouldn't have to be worrying about this to begin with, all right? And it says here that animal studies have raised concerns as well about potential kidney tumors at high dosages. But it says evidence in humans is inconclusive, and the FDA says these things are safe. But the HHS and FDA's under this umbrella are now saying it's not safe and banning it, according to RFK Jr. Blue 2, all right? So there's Blue 1, there's Blue 2. And these are all just like synthetic byproducts that they are extracting out of waste, essentially, and then just put it into our food because it has a color to it. It's used in candies, baked goods, and pharmaceuticals, even like oxycodone. It says here hypersensitivity. There's rare allergic reactions, including skin irritation, has been reported. Behavioral concerns and studies linking synthetic dyes to hyperactivity in children through specific data on Blue 2 is limited. It says animal studies suggest potentially neurotoxicity at high doses, but no significant human health risk have been confirmed. All right, so that's why they're in here. They said, hey, it's all good. And there's a catch-all phrase too that they use. It's called generally recognized as safe. So if they can get one of these dyes approved, they can say, hey, these dyes in general are safe. They're all byproducts essentially of the same thing. They're all kind of like this. They have the same base to them. So we're going to just say they're mostly all safe, and there's not even a lot of studies on these things, right? That's why it's like the information is inconclusive. It says here green dye 3 is also going to be banned as well. And it says here that animal studies have shown bladder tumors in rats at high dosages, but no confirmed studies for humans. It says rare cases of hypersensitivity and limited data links green 3 to behavioral issues as it's less commonly used and studied. Also, red 3, previously used in candies and also maraschino cherries and pharmaceuticals. It says here that it has carcinogenic effects. Studies from the 1980s showed thyroid tumors in male rats, leading to its ban in cosmetics and later food and drugs. All right, so they banned it in cosmetics first, but then still allowed us to keep eating it. So it's not good to put on your skin, but it's okay to ingest into your body so your liver and your kidneys can process it. It's just insane, kind of, when you really think about it. And the US should be the gold standard for a lot of these things. It says the FDA notes that the mechanisms causing cancer in rats does not apply to humans, and human exposure is low. So, take your risk. You can't avoid everything, but you should at least be trying to minimize these things as much as possible. Whenever you see it, whenever you catch it, you're at a birthday party or something, somebody's got some cake. What are you gonna do? Eat the cake, but don't be eating this stuff constantly because it accumulates. A lot of these things have cumulative effects. So just like they keep saying, at higher dosages of these things, then is when you really start seeing major issues. All right. So if you are only eating these things, infrequently, then it's probably not going to be a major issue. But children are so much smaller. Their bodies are smaller. So they accumulate things quicker, right? There's less room and space for these things to be spread out throughout the tissue in the body. So it's going to accumulate faster. They're going to have side effects quicker. And that's why we see a lot of issues potentially linked in children with these things. It says that red 3 contributes to hyperactivity in children, but the FDA has found no causal link. It says the red 3 ban was driven by federal law requiring the prohibition of additives linked to cancer in animals, despite no human cancer evidence. Right? So it's causing it in rats, and they do a lot of these tests on rats. They're very similar to humans, and I don't think the risk is worth it just to have something be red, right? Just to have your cake be a little more red, right? It's not worth it. And the other side of this too is a lot of the quote natural things, like a lot of the natural dyes that they are coming up with as alternatives to this come from bugs, right? So there's this one red beetle that is used for a lot of the red coloring now and things to say it's quote natural and to get around these dye restrictions and these prohibitions. But now you're it's like it's even in things like cranberry juice, as are in certain brands, and now you're drinking crushed up beetles, ground up beetles to have it red. All right, it's just unnecessary. I don't want any of this crap. All right, maybe we need to just let it go on like the colorful, we're not little kids. Like the food doesn't have to be like shiny and colorful and amazing looking. Just eat your food, eat a steak, eat some meat, and get back to work. All right, we don't need all this stuff. We don't need this extra coloring. And that's how they get kids too. It's like, oh, it's so colorful and look at all these things, and they put in the cereals and everything. All right, that's how they attract them. But we don't need it. We really don't need it, right? It's unnecessary, especially when there's known potentially cancer links. I don't think it's worth it to be risking our children, risking our health. All right, red 40 is also going to be banned as well too. It's commonly used in beverages like Pepsis, candies, cereals, and medications, even things like NyQuil. All right, all these things, they're unnaturally colored when they're very vibrant. Most of these things are pretty dull or have almost no color, especially like these medicines and things like that, cereals. But that's just how it is, right? It says in 2021, the California Environmental Protection Agency review found red 40 may exacerbate ADHD symptoms in some children. A 2007 Lancet study linked it to hyperactivity, prompting EU warning labels. The FDA's 2011 and 2019 review found no causal link between noted potential sensitivity in some children. Sorry about that. So they're saying there's no link, but some children did have sensitivity. So I don't know why the FDA says this for everything. They're always just like, nope, nope, nope. When these things are here, right? These people are here. I've been hearing of this stuff for at least a decade. People saying that these dyes are causing hyperactivity and issues in children. Also, it's carcinogenic, red 40. It says may contain benzidine, which is a byproduct of the petroleum byproduct, right? Insane. And I'm not against petroleum or oil. I have a gas vehicle, like I said, but I don't want to be eating it. Why are we putting this stuff in our food? It's insane. And it says it may contain benzidine, a potential carcinogen, as a contaminant. Animal studies suggest a possible cancer risk at high dosages, but human evidence is lacking once again. And it says it can cause allergic reactions, including hives in rare cases. So I'm just trying to give you the full story on all these dyes and exactly what they're saying. But they're saying it's not. They're saying it's fine, but at the same time, now the HHS is saying it's not fine. All right, so there's something going on here, and I think they're going to have more studies and more review of these dyes and figure out exactly what they're doing so people can know, right? Some people's lives have been changed by these things, by these chemicals, by these things in the food, in the water, in the air, in the medication, right? Some people have permanent reactions to these things, and they need justice. They need to know what's going on. They've just been, and all these things are like banned. These dyes are banned in the EU. They're banned all over the world. And why aren't they banned here? Right? I just don't understand. They're able to make the food. There's like this meme going around recently where it's showing all the ingredients on the Fruit Loops in the US and then all the ingredients for the Fruit Loops in Europe or the UK. And the ingredients list in the UK is very small. It's about an inch long. And then the ingredients list in the US is, it's scrolling down the whole side of the box. Okay. So why does it have to be like that? They can produce the same products and they do it, but we're like the dumping ground for all of these experimental things. And I just don't appreciate it, right? I don't want to be eating these things. I don't want to have to risk it just because I'm eating some cereal, all right? I should be able to eat some cereal in America without getting poisoned, right? What happened here? Shouldn't it be like this? Also, yellow 5 is being banned as well too, which is called tartrazine. See, these are all like weird synthetic chemicals just being put in our food. It's found in beverages like Mountain Dew, snacks like Doritos, and cosmetics. It can cause hypersensitivity, allergic reactions such as asthma, and particularly in individuals sensitive to aspirin. They're saying here, I don't know why, that's what it's saying here. It says it's linked to hyperactivity in children in some studies, though the FDA has not confirmed it directly, and the EU requires warning labels for yellow 5. It also may contain benzidine, raising theoretical cancer concerns, right? So that's the carcinogen that we're talking about that at high levels causes problems in animals. And this is why a lot of these things have been banned. Also, yellow 6, used in candies like Airheads, beverages, and cosmetics as well too, can cause allergic reactions, including skin rashes, and it's potentially linked to hyperactivity. And it says animal studies show no significant cancer risk, but contamination with benzidine is a concern, right? So lots of these, just due to the processing of it and the way that it is a byproduct, the way that it's produced, the base for these dyes, a lot of times there will be contamination with these extra hydrocarbons like benzidine. They will show up in there during the processes, and there's nothing they can really do to get them out, and they just allow it to happen, right? They're just saying, well, the risk is low enough, so it's not a big deal. Also, citrus red 2 is going to be dyed, or is going to be banned. It's a dye, and it's used to color the skin of some oranges even. So even some oranges have these dyes sprayed on them. Insane. Just why? It just feels like, I don't know, it feels like a clown world to be just doing things like this, spraying chemicals on the food just so it's a color. Pesticides are bad enough, right? You don't want to be eating pesticides, but at least it has a purpose to prevent, the bugs from eating the crops. There's honestly really no reason here. And it's saying here that the citrus red 2 is even linked to potentially bladder cancer in mice and rats, right? That's what studies have shown in animals, that it gives them bladder cancer, right? So it's insane. We have enough things. There's enough stuff on the citrus and oranges already. They're being sprayed heavily right now because of citrus greening disease. And the orange groves in Florida and in the US are just being decimated and wiped out and being turned into solar fields all over the place. And that's why you're seeing the price of orange juice skyrocket. It's extremely expensive now. And it's already sprayed with enough things. We really don't need any coloring in it as well too. All right. So those are the main dyes that are being banned. All right, those are the main ones that are in the food currently right now. So please hit up for me down there, guys. Just helps get these warnings out, get these alerts out, so people know exactly what's going on and know about these foods. All right, I'm going to read a more extensive list of these foods that contain these dyes. All right, so I'm just going to start off things like candy. Skittles contains red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6, and blue 1. M&M's milk chocolate contains red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6, blue 1. All right, Starburst, Twizzlers, both have red 40. Maraschino cherries historically use red 3 for their ruby red color, but many use red 40 now. Jelly beans, all right, you might have been eating some jelly beans over Easter. It's not the biggest deal, but I want to be eating them every day, chowing them down, all right? And my dad, I'm thinking of my dad here because he had like a jelly bean sweet tooth, and he was always had a bag of jelly beans when he was still alive. So watch out, all right? It's not the biggest deal, but it's gonna accumulate. They're already bad for you. They're already just gunk and sugar, and now they got to put these dyes in them too. So it says candies are among the highest source of dyes, especially red 40 and yellow 5, due to their vibrant colors. General Mills Trix cereal has red 40, yellow 6, blue 1. General Mills Fruity Cheerios, Kellogg's Fruit Loops, Kellogg's Apple Jacks, Post Fruity Pebbles, Captain Crunch, cereal and berries. All right, Kool-Aid Cherry, Sunny D orange drinks, Crush, Powerade, Full Throttle energy drinks, Mountain Dew, Gatorade, Doritos, Cheetos, Keebler cheese and peanut butter crackers, cheese puffs, popcorns, mini cupcakes at like Walmart, Target, things like that. Kraft macaroni and cheese, Pillsbury, cake mix frosting has red 40 dye. Yellow 5, blue 1, green 3, certain flavors. All right, Kraft has yellow 5 and yellow 6. Kraft macaroni. Betty Crocker frostings have the same things, same amount of dyes. Popsicles, gelatin desserts. All right. Kraft creamy French salad dressing, Hidden Valley avocado ranch salad dressing, essentially any salad dressing. All right, barbecue sauces, cocktail sauces, ice cream flavors, yogurts, frozen dairy treats, spray cheese, canned cheese, Florida oranges, dried fruits, things like papaya are even sprayed with things like red 40 and yellow 5 dyes. Mott's apple sauces have these dyes in them. All right, something you might have ate over the weekend. My kids had one of these, some Peeps. They have red 40, yellow 5, blue 1. Trail mix, things like Wegmans, they have red 40, yellow 5, and they're dried fruit. Seasonings as well too, things like lemon pepper. Sausage casings have red 40 in some brands. Pet foods, a lot of them do. All right, that's another thing too, is the meat, a lot of the meat, they will put these dyes in them to make them more red and to make them look like they last longer. They also have a gassing process where it helps us keep the meat red for longer without turning gray. All right. Even medications, things like vitamins, all right, especially children's vitamins that are all like funky colors, those have a ton of dyes in them. You're supposed to be taking your vitamins, supposed to be helping you, and then you get these dyes. So NyQuil, oxycodone, lots of medications, anything that's like colored like that, a bright color, is going to have these dyes in them. All right, so let me know what you guys think down below. All right, this is also just like your wake-up call too, to start growing your own food as much as you can. We got some chickens, we got some stuff going. All right, we're not gonna have a huge garden this year because we got some other issues going on. All right, my wife's still dealing with this emergency, all right, this medical emergency, and we really need a miracle, right, on this situation. That's what we're praying for. That's what we're hoping for. So, we're not going to be going crazy on the gardens this year because I have to just like take care of her all day, and the kids, and deal with everything else too. So, gonna be busy, right? But keep praying for us too. That's why I brought this up. Is just we need your prayers. We really need a miracle. Honestly, this is going to be a situation that's going to be lasting for like a while, for months, 6 months, where we're going to be on edge and just really worried. All right. So keep the prayers coming. I really appreciate it, guys. Make sure you guys are getting stocked up, getting ready. All right. Spring's here. We just had a big snow, but I think this is going to be the last one. And spring's been here for a month. All right. 2 months from now, it's going to be summertime. All right. So now's the time. Get things going. Get some chicks, get some baby chicks, order them in the mail, buy them locally, whatever you want to do. Get these things going. Get some plants started, some trays going, so you can plant at least a few things, even if it's just in some pots on your porch or whatever, in your balcony. Just grow something. All right. Do something so you can grow your own food. You can have this skill, and you can minimize all this crap that's going into your body. All right. Your like tomato that you grow personally is going to be the reddest, juiciest, tastiest tomato you've ever had, compared to one at the store, right? Doesn't matter what chemicals they put in it. It doesn't matter what dyes they put in it or anything like that. Your stuff's going to be brighter red. It's going to look better, and it's going to taste better because it's fresh, picked right from the vine. That's how you're going to get the most vibrant and tastiest food. I'm telling you, like, if you've never grown your own lettuce or kale, things like this. I didn't even really like this stuff. It was okay. I'd eat salad sometimes. But when we have our own salad that we're growing, I'm eating it like constantly. It tastes good. It tastes buttery. It tastes sweet. It tastes crispy. It tastes good. It doesn't taste like wet cardboard salad that you get from the store, right? It's totally different experience when you are growing your own food, all right? So that's the best way to get it, all right? To get the most vibrant, get the tastiest stuff, all these additives, all these chemicals, all these things, it doesn't compare, all right? Once you have your own food that you've grown, so, and your own eggs you've eaten, things like that, it hits different, right? I don't know how else to describe it, but it hits different. So thank you guys. I hope you guys are staying safe, staying prepared out there. I hope you have big blessings for your life, your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.